Case File 428. The Door That Isn't on the Map. Wilson Hall, Ohio University. 0 to 0:30. 30-second hook. Retention boost. If you're watching this after midnight, look at your clock right now. Because there's a strange curse at Ohio University. Anyone who hears about room 428 starts hearing knocks at 4:28 a.m. And the scariest part is, that knocking doesn't come from the story. It comes from real life. I know that because last night I listened to a forbidden tape from 1970. Tape number 4. And the moment it ended, my front door started knocking. Don't skip ahead. Don't jump past the middle. Because if you understand how room 428 gets out, you might lock your door in time, before it's too late. Chapter 1. 0:30 to 3. The box with no sender. I received that box on a cold, rainy night. No sender, no address, no reason. On the lid was a line written in shaky handwriting, like whoever wrote it was afraid. Wilson Hall, room 428. Inside was an old cassette player and a folded note with 3 short lines. Do not open the box in a dark room. Do not stand in front of a mirror while listening. And absolutely, do not replay tape number 4. I laughed. You know how it is. Warnings like that usually make people more curious. But the truth is, I had heard of Wilson Hall at Ohio University before. On student forums, they call part of the 4th floor the dead stretch, where the lights flicker and security cameras sometimes cut out for no reason. And some nights, the hallway looks longer than it should. In an internal school document, there was only one strange line. Students are not allowed to walk to the end of the 4th floor hallway after midnight. No explanation. No reason. One more label was stuck to the cassette. Tape 428/Athens, Ohio, /1970. I plugged the player in, pressed play. Cliffhanger 1. But before you hear the voice on the tape, you need to know this. From the very first second, that tape started recording me. Chapter 2. 3 to 6. Tape 1. The Room That Isn't on the Map. A young woman's voice came through, clear, but breathing hard. Evelyn, on tape. My name is Evelyn Harper. I'm a freshman at Ohio University. If anyone hears this, please don't think I'm making it up. I'm in Wilson Hall, on the 4th floor. They gave me the wrong key, and on that key, the number 428 was carved. She paused, as if listening. Evelyn. When the dorm manager saw that number, her face went pale. She snatched the key from my hand like it was burning, and she said, "There is no room 428. Evelyn continued, quieter. But I still went up to the 4th floor. The hallway felt wrong, too long. The yellow lights flickered like they were dying. And at the very end, there was a dirty white door. No room number, but it was unlocked. At this point, what made my skin crawl wasn't the story. It was the background sound. No students, no fan hum, no footsteps, just breathing. But that breathing wasn't from one person. One fast, shaky breath, Evelyn's. And another breath, slow, long, right against the microphone, like someone was standing inches behind her. Evelyn whispered, "Someone is behind me." Cliffhanger 2. Then she said the line that made me rip my headphones off. "It doesn't have a face, but it's learning my voice." Chapter 3, 6 to 9:30. Tapes 2 and 3. Don't answer. Evelyn. There are no windows, no signal. I pounded on the door. No one answered. But I can hear something. Inside the wall. Krrt, krrt. Then an old man's voice appeared, small, like it was coming through concrete. Don't talk to it. Evelyn startled. Hello? Who's there? The old voice repeated, biting each word. Don't answer. Evelyn, breathing hard. Why? The old man replied, exhausted, like he'd said it too many times. Because it doesn't need a door to open. It only needs you to open your mouth. I frowned, but then the tape shifted to recording 3 and it got worse. Evelyn was close to crying. I see it. It's standing in the corner of the dark. It's wearing old student clothes, but its face is smooth. No eyes, no mouth. It doesn't walk. It slides. And every time I breathe louder, it gets closer. Then a second voice appeared on the tape. It sounded 90% like Evelyn, but the rhythm was wrong, like something copying a human. Evelyn. Evelyn panicked. No, don't call me that. The voice spoke again, clearer. Evelyn. And then Evelyn said something that froze me. It's using my voice to call me closer. Word jump scare number 1. Evelyn whispered right into the mic, barely breathing. It just knocked from inside my head. Cliffhanger 3. The old man came back one last time, barely audible. If it gets outside, it won't need room 428 anymore. Chapter 4, 9:30 to 12:40. Tape number 4, The Door in Real Life. I rewound to tape number 4. That warning note flashed in my head. Do not replay tape number 4. But at the time I thought, just a scare trick. I pressed play. On the tape, there were no words, only knocking. Knock. 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 The first 10 seconds felt normal, but on the 11th second, I realized something horrifying. The knocking was no longer on the tape. It was coming from behind me. I spun around. My door was shut. No one was there. But the knocking continued. Knock. 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 I pulled my headphones off. The knocking was still there, meaning it wasn't coming from the speaker. It was coming from real life. I looked back at the cassette player. The tape was still running. And then, Evelyn's voice came through. Very far away, very weak. If anyone hears this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I brought it out. I went cold. Brought it out? What does that mean? Right after that, a young man's voice appeared. Clean, calm, like he was standing right beside me. Hello. Can you open the door for me? And right then, my phone started vibrating. The caller ID showed 0428. I didn't answer, but my voicemail played automatically. And through my phone speaker, I heard my own voice, slightly warped. Can you open the door for me? Word jump scare number 2. The moment I heard my own voice, the lights in my room flickered. And in the instant the lights cut out, I heard a whisper directly in my ear. Thank you for listening. Cliffhanger 4. Then I looked down under the door and saw darkness leaking in. Chapter 5, 1240 to 15. Final twist. It learned your voice. I didn't open the door. I backed away. I locked everything. I threw the tape out. But the next morning, when I checked the box again, there was a new sheet of paper inside. The handwriting was shaky. I'm Evelyn. If you're reading this, lock your door. Don't answer the knocking. And if you hear your own voice calling from the hallway, don't step outside, because you never said that. Below it was a black fingerprint, too long to be human. But the worst part was the final line. It wasn't Evelyn's handwriting. It was neat, even, cold, like a printed notice. I learned your voice. That night, I woke up at exactly 4:28 a.m. Not because of knocking, but because I heard a sound in the hallway I recognized instantly. A cassette tape rewinding. Whir, whir, whir. I opened my door and looked out. The hallway was empty. But at the far end, there was a dirty white door. No number. It shouldn't have existed there. And from the crack beneath it, a voice floated out, soft as breath. Finally, you're here. If you made it this far, and tonight you wake up at 4:28, don't check your door. Don't answer the knocking. Don't say, who's there? Because room 428 doesn't need you to walk into it. It only needs you to call your own name.